mafresh trumas and meiser. If one eats at Kolzman, the trumas and meiser wasn't separated, it's called tevel, right? Tevel, the one that eats tevel is chayev misa b'dei shamayim, right? So Mamela Rava, who's a Talmud of Rabbah, right? And Rabbah says that there's no ein kinyan la'akum lafkia midei trumas and meisres, right? Meaning that if the wine was produced in a way that would be mechayev and trumas and meisres, although the ownership is that of a goy during the 70 years of the Golas Bovel, where much of the land was owned by goyim, right? It's chayev and trumas and meisres, and if that wine was sent, it was imported by Achashverosh to Shushan to serve his Jewish guests, because ein ones, each one was served wine from his Medina. So it means the Jews drank wine imported from Eretz Yisrael. The wine was tevel, and therefore they were chayav misa b'dei shamayim.
They weren't even forced to drink it.
Right. Ein ones, that they weren't even compelled to drink it. So that's why the Mandama said. That's why they said that mitnai man is chayav v'saneim shel Yisrael kloya. Where they were nena because it was ein ones, right? When one eats ba'oines, it's not nena. The Gemara doesn't say mipnei sha'achlu. Mipnei she'nena mesudas shalach hashresh. No, you're drinking wine that's tevel. Maybe some of the wine was mesukan, but you're talking about a mishta with so many people and so much wine was imported. Look what's doing now. I mean, that the now Baruch Hashem. I mean, that almost all fruits and vegetables that are imported, that are found in the European Union countries or in the United States and Canada, almost everything goes through Tnuva, and the mashgichim take care of the trumas and meises. But there was a time, that it really wasn't so organized. They didn't have the manpower or the mechanisms really, and then you had to be concerned, with wine that was brought, with food, the fruit, produce that was brought from Eretz Yisrael for the Trumas and Meisres, right? So he said, so now we want to know that why b'pnei mash and nenu mesudas shlach what's the big deal? The teretz is that Rava, who's the Talmud of Rabbah, holds in the sheet of his Rebbe Rabbah that ein kinyan la'akum laftia mitei trumas ha'maisas, and the yayin that was brought to serve to the Jewish guests was wine from Eretz Yisrael, and much of it, probably most of it, was not the trumas and maisas weren't properly separated, and Memela, those that drank it was nenu be'ein ones, they were chayav misa b'dei shamayim. I think one little small word. There's just a little bit to complete the theme that I was talking about at Shalashudas. Speaking about that the Migdash Shel Mal and the Migdash Shel Mata are mechuven, and the shefa comes from. It said that Vehine, that place that Yaakov Avinu slept, it was the Mokam HaMizbeach, which Ein Zaki and Beis Elokim v'Zeh Shara Shamayim, that the Malach Elokim are Olim v'Yordim bo, and when we teach in Shalashudas that the Olim means that the Tfilas are Oila, and the Yordim means that the Shefa, Brocha, that the Rebbeinu Shalom grants is brought down by the Malachim that are Yordim, right? And that's all of that Mokam, which is the Mokam HaMizbeach, which is the Shara Shamayim, the Malach Elokim is Olim v'Yordim bo, right? Okay? And Achashverosh wanted very much, he wanted to convince everyone, certainly the Jewish people, that now that the Mikdash was Charav, there was no longer any Shara Shamayim, and there was a Mechitza Shel Basel between the Mokam of the Migdash Shel Mata and the Migdash Shel Mala, and therefore he wanted to convince all that he was the one that now, the only one that could provide the Shefa Bracha. And therefore, and we said that that's Merumas in that he Chur Karpas Utcheles. The Chur Karpas Utcheles is the Rosh Teves Chatach. Chatach is the Malach who's Memun ala Parnosa. It's the Sofer Teves of Paseach Es Yodecha. The Sofer Teves of Paseach Es Yodecha is Chatach, the Malach who's Memun ala Parnosa. And Achashverosh wanted, he made the Chur Kapas Utchelis to say, now when you say Paseches Yadecha Masbila, you should mean me. Right? Okay? However, there's that, and that's why he called the Beis Hamikdash that the Beis Adchatzia Malchus v'loy davar hachotzitz leMalchus, because his Malchus was now based on his being the Paseches Yadecha. And if the Beis Hamikdash is going to be rebuilt, it's going to take this away from him. Like Paro, went to Lamaima to show that he's a deity. The Achashverosh didn't want, that's why he called it Chotzitz, because this is what really will frustrate the belief that he's trying to encourage, right? However, Shlomo Melech anticipated this in Shir HaShirim. He said, Hine oimed acha koisleinu, mashgiach min hachalonos, is meitzitz min hacharakim, right? That the Rebbeinu Shem, Hine oimed acha koisleinu, that which refers to the lozoza shchina me'olam lozoza shchina me'kosel hamaravi, that the remnant of the Beis Hamikdash which remains is the kosel hamaravi. Hine hu oimed acha koisleinu, that if the direct shefa, the direct chalon between the Migdash Shel Ma'ala and the Migdash Shel Mata is closed temporarily, but it doesn't mean that there's not a mechanism by which the shefa comes, because if the Migdash Shel Mata is no longer mechuven keneged the Migdash Shel Ma'ala, and if there's not that connection between the mokum of the Migdash Shel Mata and the Migdash Shel Ma'ala, the Malach Elakim Olam v'Yodim bo, then he's Omed Acha Kasleinu, and he's Mashgiach min HaChalonos, Umeitzitz min HaCharakim, and he sends us the Shefa through, if it's not the ideal, but it's still there. So Shlomo Melech anticipated what Achashverosh would attempt to convince people, and he said, no, even bisman the Churban Beis Hamikdash, when the Migdash Shel Ma'ala and the Migdash Shel Mata are no longer mechon, but he nehu omed acha kasleinu. He's there acha kasleinu by the kedusha, which is represented the eminence of the Shechina, which is represented by the Kosel Amaravi. Mashkiach min achalonos. He looks at, and when there's no chalonos, when it's a time of very great, then he's meitzitz min hacharakim. Then he looks through the charakim, the cracks, which is really the meitzitz min hacharakim b'shas nesias kapayim. When the kohanim duchen, the Rebbeinu Shalom is meitzitz min hacharakim. If there's no mokam migdash mechuven Mala and Mata, and there's not even mashgiach min hachalonos, then there's always the charakim. And the Rebbeinu says the meitzitz min hacharakim. Chananya ben Akasha Oime, Rotza Kadosh Baruch Hu Lezakas Tzisrael. Now you can bring the Sidurim. Leficha Chibalem Torah Mitzvah Shenemar Adonai Chofetz Leman Tzidka Yagdil Torah V'Yagdir.
Yiskadav Yiskadash Shemei Rabo Yom Odi V'Rach Yisei V'Yom Nechmat Yisei Yasmach V'Konei V'Konei V'Shichei Chayechon V'Yamechon V'Chayet V'Beis Yisrael Agola Ovis Man Korvi V'Yim Yisvorach Yishtabach Yisvorach Yisamam Yisnaseh Yisador Yisadav Yisadav